just to get your thoughts on the prop tech space as well, just
Yeah.
where it's at, and you know, why do people should be interested in that space as well?
So tech in general, whether it's prop tech, fintech, whatever tech, should always be explored. Especially, I would say, we're younger, but it should be explored by everyone. But we have an advantage. I would say that. So it has to be explored because it's going in that direction, whether you like it or not.
That's it.
So, but from a business perspective, it can just reduce your costs and make your business more efficient. So, if you want to look at it from, like, if you run an estate agents, basically, you need to do anti-money laundering checks. How are you going to do that check? You're going to use a tech platform in order to do that check, to do background checks and do it within a certain amount of minutes, and it's going to cost you £. So I don't know how they did it before, but I can imagine it was a lot longer and a lot more expensive. So it's going to be saving businesses money. Now, if you want to start your own tech business, there's obviously I would say there's multiple benefits of starting a tech business, but as I said, of efficiency. But even if you look at the valuations, the ability to scale a tech business is much easier than a service-based business. The places that it can take you to is just different compared to a service-based business. There's a lot of limitations because you have to look at manpower and things like that. So
you can scale without having to hire other people.
You can scale much easier. I would say with the prop tech industry in the UK now, though, the problem is that, well, it's still new. So there's only been, the biggest exit is Zoopla and Home Track, which Zoopla bought. But there hasn't been that many big exits in prop tech, so we don't really know what the cap is on the market. And there's a disconnect between property businesses and prop tech businesses.
Explain. What do you mean?
So if I'm an estate agent and I've been doing it 20 years, and this guy comes in and says, I've got this amazing app that can save your buyers 20% time or whatever it is, do I really care that much to implement your business into my business?
When it's already kind of working.
It already works.
The industry's quite kind of old school as well.
It's very old school. So there's so even if you look at, there's like Prop Tech Association, they are trying to get property businesses into it a bit more, but it's very difficult to, because as I said, the estate agents, they're happy doing what they're doing, or property business, they're happy doing what they're doing. It's very old school. So if you look at the tech people, sometimes they don't come from property backgrounds, so they think, look, I have tried to buy a home, it was a terrible experience, I'm going to start a business now to try and resolve it. And then you start to realize that the reason why there was a disconnect is because you have to change either the attitudes or the mindset of the people. So
there's
it's hard to
also the
sell.
part that you have to onboard people as well. Like, people need to actually understand this is something new that I need to learn. Like, I have to start something new. So there's that side of stuff as well.
But if people don't care to, because their business works, then they're not going to. So it's just about finding that. Obviously, it's a main thing in business, finding the pain points and then making sure that you can resolve those things. So one of the main things that somebody needs to come up with is sales progression. If somebody starts, and there's been many people that have tried to do tech businesses around sales progression, but it requires too many people to update. So the agent has to update, the conveyancer has to update, the mortgage broker has to update.
Man, so annoying.
But are they all going to update on the same platform?
They
need to consolidate into one thing. It has to be done. So, but that is a massive problem.
It will be done.
So if somebody actually solves that problem, then
they're gonna win.
That's how you have to see, especially with prop tech. That's how you have to look at it. Not the obvious things like, oh, it's hard to find a home. It is hard to find a home.
What makes the process easier, faster, more streamlined?
Exactly.
100%.
So but so prop tech is just it's still early, and there's still a lot of scope to grow within the next few years. So I would say, just explore different ideas and test the market. Build your MVP and see what happens.
So for the last part now.
No, so one more question before that one.
Yeah.
How much have you raised any money for your prop tech business?
Yeah, so I raised just under 200k.
Okay.
So
amazing.
one of the one of the homes that we sold, the seller invested.
Amazing. It's crazy how you help someone and then they invest. It's happened so many times. I've seen it so many times as well.
Yeah. So that's like what we were saying, add value, and then it naturally it will come. And then we had another investor I reached out to through LinkedIn. So I was doing outreach via LinkedIn.
Amazing.
And then just sending them my concepts. And this guy, he just sold his business for a silly amount. I think to Microsoft, and reached out to him. Had a call for about 30 minutes. He's like, yeah, I'm in. Literally like that. He's like,
That's it.
Yeah, I'm in.
That's it.
And then I don't know if you I don't know if you know SCIS, EIS, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
No.
I'll go into it briefly, but basically it's about raising money, and people need to know this when raising money.
No,
so, SCIS is based if your business is under 2 years. I can't remember if the other things that you need to, but it was under 2 years. That was one of the main things, and I think it needs to be like a tech business. The government has an initiative where if you are looking to raise, I think now it's up to 250, but if you're looking to raise up to 250k, then you can raise that under SCIS and EIS. Wow. And SCIS just basically means that any investor that gives you, let's say 10k, the government will give them back 50% of that through tax.
Wow.
And if the business fails, they'll give them another 25%. Wow. So really and truly, the investor can look at it like this. If I got 10k, I give it to you, I get back 7.5.
Yeah.
I lose 2.5.
Wow.
So that's how most tech businesses at the beginning are raising money.
So the government's just giving them this
tax rebates.
Insurance?
Tax rebates.
Wow.
Tax rebates. Yeah. So one of the investors that I got, I said to him, look, give me double the amount that you're going to give me, and you'll get X amount back through tax. He's from the UK, but he's based in Canada at the moment. But he's obviously got some income here. So at first he was like, not sure about it. But then I think it was a couple of hours before the end of the tax deadline, he was like, yeah, let's do it. So I take all the paperwork in and make it happen. But you get 50% back through tax, and then EIS you get 30%. You get 30% back through tax. So if you're raising money for your business, it's almost like a no-brainer to tell people, look, SCIS, EIS, go and get registered. That's how a lot of businesses are raising money.
That's amazing. That is amazing. I want to hear practical steps on that now. Do you know what I'm saying? I need to explore that in another episode. Definitely.
I think that's why we brought Kofi. I think the tech space, prop tech space is booming. Raising finance as well in that space is just different. I don't know. Like people have. Raising £1 million for a startup, for example, is considered just normal. It's not even a thing. Within property, it's a bit more. Oh wow!
It's just like a nuance for us that are coming from property background to hear that you're raising funds just like that. Through that way, it's like.
But remember, if you then think about it through the EIS, SCIS, then you start to realize why people are raising X amount. Like there's a lot more. Obviously, property is asset backed, etc. But in the tech space, because of EIS and SCIS, it makes it a lot.
But people from the outside won't see that, they won't know that. So
quite common thing. Actionable steps.
100%. Yeah, actionable steps. Give us some last two tips for your
and
younger
just
self.
before that, want people listening, this is your opportunity to get pen and paper and write this part down, because he's going to give you practical steps. So please. Talking to your younger self.
I say actionable steps. So if I was like, I'd say go back to. There's different points, obviously, but if I was like 14, for example, as I said, I didn't think I was that smart. I wasn't really sure what I was going to do. I left school forcibly, kicked out of school before I got sent to Ghana. So I just wasn't really sure what I could do, but I would have just said to myself that just figure out what I enjoy and then sort of double down on it, because then I will be willing to learn more about it. And then at a later stage, I would have been able to figure out whether it's a career or passion or whatever it is. So I would have done that when I was younger, when I was like 14. But definitely at like 21, I would have said, for example, I didn't believe I was that entrepreneurial, but I can solve problems. So at work, I would always be the person that would be like, this don't make sense. Like, what are we doing here? Like, can we do something else? And that doesn't get rewarded at work if there's a strict sort of guideline on what you need to do. So if you enjoy what you do, or you're at work or whatever it is, and you see problems, you like to solve it. Obviously, you have to look at the environment that you're in. If it rewards it, then great. If it doesn't reward it, go and find another environment, whether it's your own business or another company that rewards you being a problem solver, and fixing things in creative ways.
And also, actually, in terms of growing your Instagram page as well, what practical steps would you give someone like that? Because we can all benefit
Finish
from
with
that.
the last practical step and then give that one as well,
I would say, last thing Just do it. Like, I know you might be thinking about something.
Thanks.
Just there's no point. Just do it.
Yeah,
so even like when we were talking about £1 Million Homes, it was a long-term plan strategy. There was no plan. I just did it. And I was like, look, if it grows, I'll figure it out. Then, do you know what I'm saying? Now, obviously, you can't live your life like that. But if you have an idea, especially when you're younger, if you ain't, I'm getting married soon and I'm renovating my home and all that kind of stuff. So I can't just be doing without. But especially when I was like younger, like early 20s, just do. It doesn't matter. There's no like. There's not much implications. If you have, for example, obviously you have to maybe look after your family or do certain things, and yes, you have to have a certain financial basis.
Got you.
But to some extent, you can still take certain risks outside. But you just need to just try, and then you will learn as you go along. If you do for long enough, you will learn.
Facts.
So yeah, I'd say that was the last thing. And what was the?
I think he said
growing social media. So now, obviously there was cheat codes with certain things you could do on TikTok, certain things you can do on Instagram. It's completely changed. But it's just the quality of the content is important. But one of the things that we look at a lot of the times is, so on TikTok, if you look at like count and videos over the last 6 months in a particular field, you're going to see certain videos that got 500,000 views, 1 million views, or whatever it is. You can just replicate that content in your own format. So if it's top 10 tips to find a home in London, you can replicate those videos. You can and put it in your own spin on it, but make sure you're consistent with it. So it's the landscape's changed. It's all content, but it's almost like easier now because you can see what works on other platforms. You just have to be consistent. Build up your own audience, and then make sure that you can provide some value, transactional value.
Oh, thank you, man. Thank you for this was a great interview.
Yeah, man.
Great interview. And we're definitely gonna have to do a part 2 because
I mean, we spoke off air.
Doors with that text.
We spoke off air about just making sure that we don't end it here and just just leave off here. So we'll talk and figure out what's the next. But honestly, your story is quite unique and it's different. And you're such a humble guy. Even from when I met you in that network environment, just chilled, calm. But it just shows you, people are doing some fantastic things out there. So don't think. I'm saying? It don't seem nothing.
And don't limit yourself as well.
Exactly.
Think big.
And there's money out there, guys. That's what this episode proves. So don't be afraid to ask for it. But yeah, guys, hope you enjoyed the episode.
Where can they find you? By the way?
Sorry.
£1 Million Homes Instagram.
Come on. Branding. Branding right there.
£1 Million Homes. That's the company name. And then personal Kofs BK, KOFS BK. That's my
future billionaire. I'm just saying it now.
Future billionaire.
I'm just saying it, guys. I can say it first. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, guys, make sure you follow the page and follow us as well. Why not? Yeah. And we'll speak to you guys soon, man. Stay blessed, stay invested. Peace.
Peace.
Peace.